So today, on 5th March, the cabinet has met in Niti Vihar Chief Minister's office to discuss on certain important issues which was placed in the cabinet. So there were three agendas and one table agenda. So the three agendas I'll just read out for your information. So this were first was the Arunachal Pradesh Horticulture Policy 2025, and second was New Agriculture Policy Arunachal Pradesh 2025, and Arunachal Tourism Policy 25-30. And the table agenda was the business allocation rules for the working agencies to take up which departments for executing the work. So I'll go in brief one by one about the policies which has been discussed in the cabinet today. So the first was Arunachal Pradesh Horticulture Policy. The major, important points in the policy which was discussed and were passed by the cabinet is like to increase the horticulture production and productivity, and the second was promote sustainable climate resilient horticulture practice and infrastructure development across the value chain, and capacity building and skill development, mission mode development, branding and marketing, research and development, human resource development, fund for sectoral development, promote convergence. So, and significant initiative under the policies are like Arunachal Kiwi Mission. As we all know, Arunachal is the largest producer of the kiwi in the country, and the mission envisioned with the objective to harness the state's immense potential in kiwi production and positioning it as a leading contributor to the national horticulture sector. And second was Arunachal Spice Mission, and there is a tremendous scope for cultivation of high value spices like large cardamom, uh, black pepper, Szechuan pepper, star anise, turmeric, ginger, etc. And to harness the potential of the spice sector in this state, the spice mission is envisaged in the policy. And secondly, the Arunachal aromatic and medicinal plant mission. In this, to harness the untapped potential of a medicinal and aromatic plant for large-scale cultivation and supply to Ayush-based uh, industries, the mission will also aid in conservation of biodiversity and associated traditional medicine system, because we have a lot of folk medicine in practice, and we being the part of the Himalayan range, we have very rich medicinal plants which needs to be harnessed. So in this line, the mission has been envisaged. And secondly, the empowering women. And we keep saying we need to empower women. So in this horticulture policy, the policy includes intervention for the gender inclusion and budgeting in the horticulture sector to empower women farmers by livelihood generation and nutritional security, and empowering the young farmers to attract young farmers in the adopting horticulture farming as occupation through skill development and horticulture entrepreneurship, and sustainable and climate resilient horticulture to address the challenge of climate change, climate resilient sustainable horticulture practices with focus on integrated farming system and discouraging the indiscriminate use of chemical in farming, because we all know the inorganic kind of farming has been leading cause of many kind of ailments and diseases. So the policy encourages in organic farming, so that will see to it that how the organic uh, farming takes place in Arunachal and try to make it 100% organic state in times to come. And in the agriculture policy, there have been many important points were undertaken in the policies, like embarking on a extra expansion by land terracing and convergence of zoom land cultivation to permanent cultivation in the hilly terrain, because the age-old tradition of zoom cultivation, which is not only destroying the ecosystem, at this also raised a question about the sustainable way of agriculture system. So this has been worked out in the policy, and extending irrigation facility and promoting water harvesting to the conservation, and increasing agriculture productivity by supplying certified seed planting materials, better extension services through KVKs, promoting multi-cropping techniques and adopting modern techniques. In the past, we have seen that in the name of seed, we get like uh, very low-grade seeds, and sometimes we get certain planting materials which doesn't adhere to the climatic conditions and the locations. So this will be mapped properly so that the planting materials and the seeds goes to the right place, which has got the right kind of soil condition and the climate and weather condition. And crop diversification, shifting from a traditional low value to high value crops and adopting high yielding varieties to increase the income of the farmers, and shift from labor intensive to more farm mechanized cultivation. So these days we have seen that the labor cost also has become very high. So more mechanized way of farming is envisioned in this agriculture policy, and involving educated youth and young age group, particularly in contract farming and agri startups, checking crop damages by wild and domestic animals by providing community farm fencing, and introduction of innovative fencing like uh, solar fencing and all, which is very effective in warding off the animals which comes and damages the crop, and increasing the capacity of self-help group FPOs etc by providing hand holding through training and capacity building. Further promoting the traditional organic cultivation by following natural farming, which we said it will be part of the organic farming, and promoting commercial or cash crop like tea, rubber, coffee, oil palm, etc., along with the food crops. Promoting contract cultivation projects on PPP mode, inviting private investment in the state agri sector, intensifying the national mission on edible oil, both oil palm and oil seeds, and in developing farm infrastructures like storage facilities, collection center, drying and packaging facilities for value addition, because a lot of our products has got very less shelf life. So just to give more value addition to this, all this kind of initiative will be taken up under this policy, and establishment of market link through ENAM and regular buyer and seller meets. And even in the later situation, we might get the e-commerce on board, to facilitate the marketing for the farmers, and promoting concept and practice of integrated farming system amongst the farmer, training of officer and staff of the department on the modern and latest knowledge and technique of agriculture, augmentation, augmenting department human resources to cope with the increasing workload, and focus on research and development activities through new R&D wing, because one of the most important thing which we have seen is the research and development. So main focus is being given for research and development in the agriculture sector to improve the productivity and more sustainable way and more healthy products, and improving the method of collecting agriculture data and its digitization, providing credit link and working capital to the farmers, adopting latest technology like using drone and artificial intelligence. And the policy shall be for the period of 2025 to 35. This is policy is for 10 years. While preparing the policy, the officials have traveled to the districts for interaction, and the district level officers, KVK, PRI members from SSG, FPO, etc. The Director of Agriculture has also provided inputs and information for preparing the policy documents. The draft of the policy document was forwarded to the stakeholders, and their opinion was suggested and obtained. So this was like an inclusive kind of policy where everyone has been taken on board to understand how best we could come up with the agriculture policy to benefit each and everyone. And the last was that Arunachal tourism policy 2530. So this policy is for 10 years, to promote tourism in Arunachal Pradesh. So the key initiatives in this policy is enhancing infrastructure and connectivity, strengthening road network, eco-friendly accommodations, and digital tourism platforms. And secondly, promoting niche tourism segments like ecotourism, adventure tourism, spiritual and pilgrimage circuits, farm tourism, and wine tourism, and empowering local communities, encouraging homestays, handicraft, rural tourism to generate employment and boost local economies. Sustainable and responsible tourism, emphasizing eco-friendly policies, conservation, and minimizing the ecological footprint of tourism activity, and PPP and investment, encouraging private investors in tourism, infrastructure, and adventure sports and hospitality. And the major initiative under the policies are farm and agro-tourism, promoting farm stays, organic farming experiences, and rural tourism to showcase Arunachal's agriculture heritage. And secondly, wine tourism, development of local fruit-based wine industries like kiwi, persimmon, guava, and the collaboration with the national wine associations to promote wine tourism, because we have seen that wine tourism is a big thing abroad. If you go to all those wine growing country like France, or for that matter even uh, California and all those places, they make a lot of money out of the wine tourism apart from the retailing of the wine. So we also think, since we have already two, three main wine producers in our state, so this could boost their this thing productivity and sale also. And spiritual and pilgrimage tourism, establishment of Buddha circuit linking Tawang Monastery, Kenzemani, Chumigyatse, and Parshuram Kund with national and global heritage promotion. And eco and adventure tourism, strengthening trekking, rafting, paragliding, wildlife tourism with the community participation. And lastly, development of hot water springs and wellness tourism, promoting eco wellness retreats, traditional healing therapies, and ice based naturopathy. As like said, we already have a folk medicines in practice, traditional healing in practice. So we want to revive so that it attracts the tourism, and as well as it will contribute to the local economy. Those who have been practicing all those traditional wellness system in our state. And for employment and economy, direct employment in hotels, homestay resorts, farm stays, and tour operators, and transport and adventure tourism, and indirect employment like agriculture, handicraft, food processing, and event management, and estimated to increase the annual tourist footfall and contribute significantly to the state's revenue and livelihood generation. And we are aligning with the Atmanirbhar Bharat, the Arunachal Tourism Policy 2530 aligns with Atmanirbhar Bharat by boosting self-reliance through local skill development, training program for tour guides and hospitality professionals, entrepreneurship growth, supporting the indigenous tourism startups and handicraft industry. These were the three policies which has been adopted in the cabinet and passed by the cabinet. And lastly was the business allocation rules. Like we see, we have like many departments which doesn't have an engineering wing. So any kind of developmental work which comes to the department, we have assigned particular engineering wings to execute the work. Earlier, what used to happen, like the department used to assign the engineering departments for executing the work as per their whims and fancies, which used to create a lot of confusion, and even duplicacy and monitoring was little difficult. And since there have been too many agencies involved in one department, so now the cabinet has decided that we will have a proper business allocation for each department, so that there's no confusion, and in future also that one engineering department which will take care of which department has been already decided in the cabinet today, so that there's no overlapping and confusion and days to come while we execute the developmental work in the state. Thank you so much.